Greetings there people, Waffle Man here. Not the face you were expecting, huh? Well, me too. I have been busy with exams as of late, so please, forgive me, in the same sense I've already forgiven myself. Blades of Deceron, a game created by the creator of Gladi Hoppers that we talked about in the last video. Gameplay wise, they're pretty much the same. They both use the same mechanic of jumping around and using 4 attacks and being able to switch between them. The game in of itself is not popular because it's just been released by the creator, so it hasn't gained much attraction. And I would really advise that you play it, because the first time I stumbled upon it last week, it was like crack. I couldn't stop playing it. It's also one of the reasons I haven't uploaded for so long, because I was too busy grinding. The game recently got a new update and a bit of an overhaul, so we're gonna be talking about the game now. And of course, as you would expect, the first thing you should be doing is creating a character. Nothing on the right over there is going to be important, but the thing that will be important is going to be the scenario. As of right now, there's only one scenario, which is Aspiring Gladiator. And also, as of speaking right now, there are also 2 races. But there isn't a difference between them, so we're not gonna be talking about it. Gentlemen, let me introduce you to my character. Introducing Roydor, an aspiring gladiator who wishes to become famous all across the lands of Deceron. And this is how his story goes. No! No! You wake up in the middle of a field with no backstory nor connections, and a cardiovascular system that is that of a raging alcoholic, nor without any explanation of how nor why you're even here in the first place. For the sake of time, we're going to say that you got jumped by a group of thieves and they quote-unquote ran your pockets. But the only thing that was for certain is that I wanted blood. There just so happens to be a tournament going on in the nearby city, and so I decided to speak with the arena master there and ask him if I could become a gladiator. And he went on a long rant, but to sum it up, he's pretty much calling you weak. He tells you to go train and then come back. To get some easy levels, I decided to go practice in the arena. To sum it up, there is not in fact any ending to this practice run. You will get an authentic feeling of what it feels like to be a World War II German soldier on the Eastern Front. And then I proceeded to get my head caved in. And to add insult to injury, I got hit in the face with an ad. And with the amount of rage I felt, I instantly had a convulsion-induced heart attack. It is at this point that I realized maybe this line of work was not for me. So to level up, I settled for some looters that were just to the left of the map. It may not be much, but it's honest work. For the plan of catching the looters, it's very simple. They think I'm a small prey, so they're going to jump me, but in fact, I am a skilled warrior. After a few minutes of wiping out looters off the face of the planet, we ended up getting a bit of money, a bit of loot, and a bit of experience. Very well. Like I mentioned, it may not be much, but it's honest work. And before fighting the next wave, I decided to take subcutaneous collateral injections of 5cc Trembolone before getting to the fight. And after finishing off the looters, I decided to take my chances in the tournament. Each bracket has a 1v1 and the winner who gets to fight the champion. And without much effort, I decided to beat the first guy as fast as I can so I can finish the tournament up fast. But sadly, I got beaten on the 3rd match by a guy who was a lot more armored than me. So I decided to just leave it be and be back for it after I make myself a little settlement. The only way that I know of that you can establish yourself as a settlement is to capture a settlement from looters or whatever they may be. So I decided by myself that I should be making myself a kingdom by taking over the looter settlement. It's the easiest one that you can take over because they are not heavily armored at all, because they don't have any armor in the first place. And after we absolutely decimated the poor looters, we got a lot of loot, and I mean a lot. And the game afterward asked me to choose a symbol and a name for my faction alongside a color. So of course, being the normal man I am, I decided to name it the Waffle House. And after this, I decided it was about time that I finally finished up the tournament, since you are supposed to be finishing the tournament first. And this time, I actually won. Since the length of the video is shorter than I expected, here's some gameplay. Getting out of that hellhole, I decided to speak to the arena master, who was the guy who called you weak in the first place, and now he's shocked. Wow, what a surprise. And after that, the story part is over, and the sandbox conquering part begins. And what way to start that part by speaking about the factions. First thing is first, before I talk about the different clans, I want to talk to the developer. Dear developer, why on planet Earth did you use this font specifically? It makes me feel that I'm going to cast a spell if I even try to pronounce this. So I'm just going to give real life references of what these factions are supposed to be. The first one are the red people, aka the Romans. At the beginning of the game, they are the largest and the strongest faction, and my personal favorite, to be honest. Next up is the green people, also known as the Vikings. They're basically what they sound like. They are Vikings. Look, I'm not joking. And the one that comes after that is the Holy Empire. It's basically the Holy Roman Empire. Finally, there are the blue people. They are basically a mixture between Africans and Arabs, so basically Indians. There are also these guys, but they're a minority, so nobody gives a crap. They don't matter. They don't matter. There are way too many unit trees to be covering here too, so I'm just gonna do myself a favor and just give you a couple of the important ones. For the red faction, I'm going to talk about the Rivermen. They go from Rivermen to Watchmen to Swordsmen to Noble Swords, then finally Queen's Column. This is the best unit for this faction, and you can probably see why I call these guys the Romans. Blue people, it goes like this: Duneborn, how do I say that, man? For simplicity purposes, we're just going to say Rabies. Rabies Guard, Honored Rabies, then Royal Rabies. For the green people, you know what? Just forget it. There are way too many. If you want a real unit, just get a heavy forlorn. In my opinion, the game was very entertaining. So yeah, like and subscribe. We're nearly at 100 subs. Sorry for being radio silent for so long, and as always, stay safe, Toilet Gamers.